just clicking the button.
Well, can you hold off on going live for like 5 seconds?
All right, starting stream again.
Man, I hate it when you have to stop midstream.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I wouldn't.
Thank you,
know.
David. Thank you.
I wouldn't get that problem. I've never had that problem.
Jesus fucking Christ. What do I have to deal with? Oh, your mother.
Yes.
David, I don't know why that struck me so funny.
I have no idea what's going on.
I know, but I don't care about that. I'm too busy being amused by the fact that he was saying mother, and it made me think of the RuPaul song, Call Me Mother. And you answered yes.
Oh.
Speaking of which, did you all see that RuPaul won Best Reality Show Host
No.
this week for an award? Mm-hmm.
No.
Mamaru's like getting street cred recognition, which is fucking with her whole thing about how drag will never be mainstream.
Wow. That's sometimes the way it goes.
Yeah. Have you two, Chester Entertainment, have you been seeing Queen Acres?
No.
Stuff they've been posting on YouTube. So it's Darian Lake and Ivy Winters. Ivy Winters doing craft stuff to camera, like step by step, showing you how to make like your own silk screen, how to make oven mitts, how to build a wig on a wig, so to speak. But it's on a farm.
Oh, God.
What's so weird about it is I'm thinking it's either Ivy or Darian's house in New York. Like, it's a little odd. It's a little different, but it amuses me greatly.
Wow. Huh.
Because they don't strike me as, like, a likely couple. Like, they seem very odd couple-ish.
That would be a weird coupling.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure, like, they're just really good friends. Because I thought Ivy had a boyfriend or husband or something. But
Ivy Winters.
Daddy. Oh, people seem to like my
Hi, Michael.
image that I made. There. What? I believe so. Why?
There's no video.
No video.
Do you see a thing that says pre-show on air?
Jeff says, do you see a thing that says pre-show on air?
It says pre-show, but I don't know.
Yes, that's what. So that's supposed to be that way. Yeah,
You are
AJ's
seeing
having
video,
a
just
bursted
nothing is going on.
experience. Yeah. So, have you ever played You Don't Know Jack? So that's kind of the concept behind this. You get to hear stuff, you just can't see it.
Player 1. Your buzzer is the letter Q, as in quartz.
Nice.
Doing the You Don't Know Jack sort of thing. Okay. So, do I have everything I wanted? Yes.
Oh, I need a drink. Just saying.
Oh, I should probably grab one too because my coffee's almost done. Burb.
So unprepared.
That's nice.
That reminds me, I need to fix something on the website. Jesus, Brad.
What?
I want to see a further back picture. God, wow. Sorry. Brad Harris just posted some pictures of him and his couple of his leather caps and his harness.
And this is on.
Facebook.
Okay. That's nice.
Here for another reason, though.
All right.
Wait. Fuck you, Facebook. There you go. All right. Update that. Okay. I'm ready now. Are you all ready?
Yes.
I am now not on mute and ready. God bless it.
Spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch. I'm ready.
All right. All right. I'm going to say this first.
Oh God.
You're gay.
Just go with it. Okay?
You're straight.
No.
You're pregnant.
No.
You're cock-sucking motherfucker.
Yes.
Something.
But that's not what I'm talking about.
Just go with it. Got
just
it.
go with
We're
it,
good.
okay?
Let's go.
Here we go. Okay. Here we go. 3, 2.
Previously on Cubs Out Loud. Guitar solo!
That's fantastic.
Adventures of Tim. LOLs. Who puts fish in tacos? You don't put fish in tacos.
That we were both and more desperately into cock than she was, even, I think.
I had enough alcohol to loosen myself up.
Oh, there's so much more work we need to do with you.
Grand Marnier in Cosmopolitans. Nelly, pound gay popper sex to pound gay amputee.
Hill Dog, aka Hillary, versus Barack Obama.
A president can be male or female.
Yes, people. They actually put a cheeseburger in a can.
To admit, no, I would not eat it in a can. I would not eat it in a boat. I would not eat it with a goat. I do not like it, Sam I am. I will not eat a cheeseburger in a can.
It's January 14th, 2018. I'm Jeff.
Who's your bear? That's right. I am your bear.
I'm Damon.
I am Chester.
This room is a pigsty, and you're a dirty pig boy.
That you all are, and that makes me Gary.
Don't hurt nobody with your bad self.
And welcome to Comes Out Loud, the Bear Podcast of Vision Terminal Length, episode number 449. And happy 10-year anniversary, almost.
Woo! Yay! Kinda.
Technically,
Sorta.
three more days until officially it would be the anniversary of it. So, but this is the day we're recording the show on. So, yeah, there we go. So, anyways, so let's find out this. So at work, it is now business as usual. So like, there's nothing special going on. There's no product releases yet. We're having one later this month. So it's boring at work. It's like we do our daily routine things, and then maybe a couple of tickets will show up on the thing, but otherwise it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's fine. It's okay. So, because this is just a thing, because then we've got like the product release, so that's going to change some things, make it a little bit more busy. But it makes it so it's kind of more of a calmer time, and you don't have to really rush to do anything. I'm just really speedy at doing some things. It's like, dip and ship these. Okay. 2 minutes later, I'm done. You know, it's kind of, so it's business as usual. And then yesterday came around, and I decided, hey, so what am I going to do to occupy my time? Well, let me play some Stardew Valley, which just started at like 9 a.m. and didn't stop playing until like 9 p.m.
Wow.
Or something like that. While I was doing that, trying to keep my, other senses occupied instead of just playing some Stardew, the Geek and Sundry was having their one night only for where they're doing kind of basically a post-mortem of their Sagas of Sundry Madness show. Basically season 2 of Sagas of Sundry, called Madness. Before that, they were doing a marathon of the complete series, which is only like 9 episodes. And so I had that playing on in the background, and of course I had to stop and watch the episodes that I didn't see just because, so I could get into it and understand what was going on. So it was full of me farming and watching a Cthulhu-esque horror RPG show.
Okay.
So kind of an interesting weekend so far. And tomorrow I have off, so maybe I'll Stardew Valley more. I don't know. Jeez, I haven't played barely any WoW this month. Weird. That's me, Damon.
Oh gosh, after that. So it was another musical week. The first musical for me for this year. I went to go see Waitress at the Aaron office, the touring company of Waitress. The music is by Sarah Bareilles. That's the main note of the show. It was a very good show. I really enjoyed the music. I enjoyed the story. Didn't realize it was based on a movie. But other than that, it was really, really good. A little long, but it was surprisingly good. I went in not wanting to know anything about it, so I intentionally didn't look up anything. I just was like, let's go and see it and enjoy it. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. That's really been it for me that I wish to talk about. So, there's a lot of other stuff going on that I'm not going to get into. So, yeah. Chester.
Okay, that was short and sweet.
Well.
I start a full-time job on Tuesday.
Yay!
Woo! Right? I'm like, it's hard for me to find the right emotional response to how I feel about it because it's not paying very well at all. But at the same time, I'm like, it's a full-time job with benefits, so I'm happy about that. I'm just really not happy about how much I'm going to be paid.
Oh, so welcome to life in America.
Yeah.
Yes and no. The difference is I'm going to be working for barely above minimum wage, and with my experience and educational background, I definitely deserve a lot more, but I can't find anything. So,
again, welcome to America.
Well, keep looking is what I will say.
I am. So I was over at Dane's last night. We were fucking around doing pictures.
Soccer. This is my sock face. Stop it, Gary. We started talking about his job, and he had asked if anything ever came of the things that he recommended I apply for, and I was like, no. All I got were messages saying that I wasn't selected for any of the positions. So then he gets online and he was going through his internal hiring, and he's like, oh my gosh, there's this one job that's open in my section, and I know this person really well. Get me your resume, and I will figure out a way to get you to apply for it. And yeah. So hopefully that will come. You won't be. So maybe you won't be in this crappy job for long.
I hope not. God, I hope not.
But
yeah. I also went and seen The Greatest Showman on Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. I've been wanting to see it, and then you mentioned that you had seen it and how great it was. So then I've been wanting to go even more.
Yeah.
On Tuesday nights, it seems like it's $5 night at all the theaters here in town.
Generally,
especially when we go. But I haven't had to work until 7 o'clock, and I'm like, that's right when showtime starts, and we decided to go to a theater that's closer to his work than what we normally go to. So I'm like, I'll just meet you there. I'll go there, pick up the tickets, and meet you there. And I get there about 6:45, and it's sold out. I'm kind of pissed about that. I'm like, this theater's never sold out.
Oh gosh.
So we ended up just having dinner, which was okay. And then he had a day off on Wednesday or Thursday. I don't remember which it was. So I decided to make a day out of it we went shopping at IKEA, and then we stopped at a game store, and then went and seen the movie. Loved the movie.
Yes.
Had dinner at Cheesecake Factory. That was Dane Joe and Dane's husband's birthday present to us. It was a gift to Cheesecake Factory. If you haven't seen it, maybe I should post this as a link. There was some guy who did a Twitter rant about Cheesecake Factory's like overall aesthetic. And one of the things that I remember about this guy's Twitter rant is the immense size of the menu and how it just keeps going on. And there's like 6 menus. And when we go in there, I'm looking around and I'm like, oh my God, that guy is right. This is way over the top, just stuff. And then we sit down and get the menu. The woman comes over, or the waitress comes over, takes our drink order, walks 5 feet over here, comes back, and she's like, can I get some appetizers started for you? And I'm like, I haven't even opened the menu. Oh, okay. I'll be right back. And she like walks over to the bar, grabs somebody else's drink, brings it to their table, comes back to us. She's like, how about now? Are you guys ready to get an appetizer started? And I'm like, there's like 6 pages of appetizers here. I haven't even looked at them all. Oh, well, I'm going to give you a few minutes. It seriously took us 15 minutes to go through the menu.
So the good or the flaw of Cheesecake Factory is that they have this really extensive menu, but they're also really popular. Therefore, the server's goals are to honestly flip as many tables as possible, which if you were a server, you want to do. So while I appreciate her dedication to trying to get your order and whatever in, I don't appreciate her like kind of like, let me keep pecking at you without any kind of time.
It wasn't even busy. That was the thing. We went in the middle of the afternoon because we went at like a 1:30 show, so we got there at like 3:30, 4 o'clock. And then this pisses me off when you go into a restaurant and you're like, yeah, I'd like a table for 2, and they stick you in the shittiest table possible in a dining room full of open tables. And like, really? You couldn't have sat us at a 4-top or a booth that's open over there? No, you had to stick us at this tiny little table for 2 near the bar that's like hardly any room to move on either side of you. But yeah, it was at the end of it, we were like, okay, great. Thankfully that meal was bought for us because I probably would, I don't feel the need to go back.
Did you have cheesecake?
Yeah. I ordered just a plain cheesecake because that's what I like. If I have cheesecake, the only toppings that I ever would want on there are cherry, strawberries, or blueberries. Plain cheesecake or lemon blueberry cheesecake are my 2 favorite. And they were both, it was good, but it wasn't like, wow, you named an entire restaurant after this?
Well, I don't think it's just those. So I'm not gonna. I'm not
defending.
It's the
other 36 they have.
Yeah. They're a Cheesecake Factory. Anyway, reproduction. Anyway, they're making it over and over again. Anyway, so I'm not gonna defend Cheesecake Factory. I like them. I like it. I agree with you about the menu being obnoxiously big and ridiculous. As someone who has been there a few times, the only benefit of it is that I don't tend to order the same thing every time. So I have options, and I look at what I'm ordering
there
100 times or whatever and still get different meals. So
you could go there every day for the next month and have a different meal.
Probably. And be broke.
Because it was not cheap.
No,
the 2 of us, by the time we got done, I'm like, yeah, I would have had a better meal at like Texas Roadhouse.
Okay.
Probably.
So what else is going on with you, Chester? Because there's
Oh.
one little thing that's, or not little, but oh,
It's not little. So I have, I follow lots of people on Tumblr, and some of them I've received notifications for. One of them being Evan. And I'm sitting there playing Breath of the Wild, minding my own business, and I get a notification. Evan the Cub has posted a photo to Tumblr.
Where
and I
were you
open it
playing
up.
the game?
Huh?
Where were you playing the game? Like up in the office?
No, in the living room.
Okay, but if it's not in the living room, obviously.
No, he's in his little cubby hole in the basement.
Downstairs.
cubby hole in the basement. That's cute.
It's like a
next to
man
the glory
cave.
hole. It's next to the glory hole.
Oh, got it. Got it.
For those who have been to my place, know that I have a glory hole in my basement.
When you moved in.
When I moved in.
It was already there, so it was perfect.
So yeah, I'm playing Legend of Zelda, and I get a notification. I look at it, and I'm like, "Oh, hey, that's Evan's dick." We've known each other for a year now, and I've never once seen him post anything like that. I have seen him post naked photos, but they're usually of his butt.
He has a nice butt, so.
Or strategically angled.
They're angled in such a way that it hides things.
Right, his family jewels are not on display.
Yes.
But no, this was dick out and proud.
Yep.
And I was like, oh.
Which
hey.
he should be. I'm just going to own it. I was like, whoa, okay.
Nice. Yeah.
That's out there now.
Good to know.
So there you go.
Keep that in the... What now?
Anybody cares, Evan's dick is now on Tumblr on his blog, and you can go check it out if you want. I don't know how long it's going to stay up there.
Forever.
Well, yeah, forever.
How many times has it been reblogged?
Yeah, it's that's the downside to Tumblr. If anything ends up on Tumblr, it will never be eradicated. Just can't be. They don't have their structure put in, which I call shenanigans on. For some reason, they can't figure out how to code it to wipe out all the reblogs.
You can. You have to ask them to do it.
And just so you know, he's posted at least twice. So.
Well, yeah, it was back to back almost, like within an hour.
Well, there you go.
Well, you know,
he has joined the smut on Tumblr.
He asked my feelings about it, and I'm like, it doesn't bother me from like I'm not jealous or upset that you did it. I'm more concerned at the fact that you did it because you work in education with children. That's what I'm afraid of. And he's trying to get a job, and I'm like, I wouldn't have. It's part of the reason why I don't, because I've got plenty of pictures on my phone of us doing stuff. And it's one of the reasons why I don't post those pictures of him, because I want to make sure that he's staying clean online.
your boyfriend is no longer chaste and pure when it comes to
Tumblr.
terms of the internet and Tumblr. So yeah,
I made a Facebook post about it and said, "Well, my boyfriend used to be angelic and pure, innocent." That's what it was, innocent and pure.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway,
I don't think he was that at all, but that's just me.
Perhaps there was just a little guilt from Chester's part that he feels he corrupted his boyfriend somehow. So
No. It doesn't look like there's any guilt.
I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna own that. No, I think he was pretty damn corrupted already.
Okay.
He's youngin'. He's good. He's fine. He's fine. Everything's fine. Gary, how are you?
I'm all right. So I'm in a new location for this week. I happen to be in Maryland. So given that I have free time available to me currently, I had an invitation. AJ was like, "Hey, if you want to come down and hang for the weekend, MAL's going on," and I was like, "Okay," like, you know, and it wasn't an intention to come to the leather event. For those that don't know, MAL stands for Mid Atlantic Leather. It's an annual event that has been happening for I don't know how many years because they don't sequentially number it; they just call it whatever the year is. Yeah. So it's MAL 2018, but. So I arrived on Friday. Yesterday, we went to the event to go to the vendor market, which I found interesting because I don't know, AJ, if you were there when one of your friends made a comment about they were annoyed that the price went up to get in. So there's a day pass, and you have to pay in order to be able to get into pretty much anything, the way they've got it laid out. And so we paid, and I didn't really think much about it, but then it occurred to me, I was like, oh, yeah, basically, if you only wanted to go to the vendor market, you paid an admission fee to spend money. So some might take a little beef with that, but that's not really technically true because the day pass that we got gave us access to everything. So we did briefly attend the puppy play session that they had going on. Got to meet friends of AJ, which was nice to be able to chat with them. I'm super excited. I don't think this is... Can I say what they talked to us about regarding Claw? I don't think it's really speaking out of term.
It's not confirmed yet.
Right.
So that's the only thing.
They submitted to do a session at Claw on saline. Right. And it hasn't been done to date that we know of. So I'm hopeful for them. I'm actually excited about this because... Ranger is really, really nice, actually, to speak to.
You met Ranger?
Yes.
Oh.
So, and I forgot who was with him. I can't. I want to say Cyrus, but that's not it.
Sirius.
So it was nice to chat with them, but
no, not Sirius Black. No.
But no, it was good to talk to him. But they made a submission to discuss that or to do a presentation at Claw. So I'm hoping for them that they get approved because I am now heavily interested to go to that. And not that I necessarily want to participate, but I know a couple of people who have done it, and so I'm more interested in the, I guess, kind of medical aspect of it, which is one of the things that they put into their submission that they have someone who's certified, so to speak, for medical. Yeah. But that was fun, and got to see the pop play session. We walked around. And saw all the vending, so much vending. Oh my gosh. Got to see Todd Mason from Wolf Striker and some other folks. I ran into people that I haven't seen in a very long time. I got to see Freddie from Pittsburgh, and I haven't seen him in a good number of years. And some other folks. And we bought some merch. So
I only know of AJ buying stuff. What did you buy, Gary?
I bought a belt.
And how come there are no pictures?
Because it's not that exciting.
He bought a belt.
Yeah, I bought a belt. So there was this vendor that had, I think they're cool. They don't make them, they buy them and then resell them. But it's it's not neoprene, but it's a substance that's kind of familiar to that. And anyways, it's got a design on one side. Oh, you're bringing yours. AJ's going to bring it so you guys can see what he got. But what I love about it is they're using the belt buckle, like the old seat belt buckle style.
Okay.
If you remember. So this is the little deal. Yeah. So, and then you just press the button and it comes out. But they're adjustable, and this is the one that AJ got.
Oh. So it's got leather pride flags on it for those listening audience.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's definitely like
very, very little. So
it's a bit of a stretch. I can see it.
Yeah, it's I think it's like strap. You know what I mean? Like the cargo strap style.
Okay.
Like material. Okay. But anyways, they're adjustables to a certain length, and they have two main sizes. Like the main size I think is up to 38, and then they have what they call an extra large, which I think goes all the way up to like 52.
Huh. So I have a belt like that, but the actually it's not a belt like that at all.
Never mind.
It's actually a airline belt buckle.
Well,
And
that's what
it
this kind of
uses
made me think of.
It uses the seatbelt material.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost been like repurposed seatbelt with an airline belt buckle mechanism, which when I bought it, I was traveling a lot, and I'm like, this is perfect because I fly on planes all the time. Gosh, I hope I don't accidentally put it in the wrong belt buckle.
Oh, God.
Nice.
Fortunate, because it's like a 32, and I'm like, not a 32.
And when you think about this, this makes for easy access.
Can you grab mine? It's in the brown bag.
Yeah, if you guys could
No. The
message me
the other one.
Name, the brand, who you got it from, I would be interested in buying one.
Yeah, I want to show you guys the other one that I bought. This one is it's not a gift, but I'm giving it to somebody that I think you both know, because the instant I saw it, I knew they were going to lose their shit. Let me see if I can find an appropriate portion of it.
Nice.
So it's Maleficent from Disney's Sleeping Beauty.
Is it for somebody here in Columbus?
Yes, it is.
I'm pretty sure I know who it's going to then.
Yeah, and it's got a Maleficent button. They had a whole series of them. They had some puppy ones when we first saw them, some with some bear heads. They had some kind of cool like paisley with skulls in them. They had a lot of different design and styles. They were pretty neat. But this one stood out to me because instantly I thought of the person in Columbus who's a huge Maleficent freak and into that kind of stuff. So I took pictures. The hard part is that the vendor market at MAL is in the lower level of the Hyatt. And if you're not near the escalators in the middle, you have, well, at least most of us, we had no cell signal. So if you were moving between the rooms and traveling or getting a drink from the catering setup bars or going to the bathroom, like you had no signal. So we kept kind of rotating back to the center. So our phones would work, because I took pictures and I sent them and I was like, hey, check out what I found at MAL. I thought of you. And the response I got was, gimme. So I was like, so I told them the price and I got gimme. And I was like, okay. So I went and picked it up. But the thing was, I had left the area with signal. So when I came back, my phone updates and they're like, you really don't have to get it. And I said, too late. By the way, what's your waist size? Because I guessed that the smaller size would be good. And that's what they said. So
quick
like,
side note. Quick question.
Yeah.
Does everybody just call it MAL, or do they usually say MAL? Because I always read it as Mal.
I've heard both.
Yeah, I think it depends on who's, how long they've been there and if they want to start. Like for me, I've been saying MAL. I've pretty much been saying MAL because to me I don't want to say Mal because it's not Mal, because I don't want someone to get that name. But I can see why you would call it Mal, because it's faster. Yes. So.
Yeah, so no, but it was pretty fun to like try to coordinate that while shopping and doing other stuff. But there was, as I was saying in pre-show, there was so much dead cow.
Oh my God.
I mean, there was a ton of leather. There was other stuff, don't get me wrong. I was highly amused by so Chris Hauser's here. He wasn't attending MAL per se, but he's here with friends. So we were traveling in Fort Troff's here. So we went to the Fort Troff room, but we'd pretty much all seen the vendor market before the three of them were going around. So I embarrassingly kind of strategically took them to Fort Troff on purpose so they could see the fucking machine.
Speaking of Chris, did he tell you about the fuckery with his rental car?
No, he didn't. He didn't give me any details. He did say that he had some issues. And then actually your name came up, Chester, because I was talking about something with you and he said, wait, is Chester here? And I was like, no. And he's like, oh, because if that motherfucker's here after everything I went through with my rental car, And I was like, I was trying to explain that I had made a passing reference to you guys off air that I might come to MAL, and I was like, by chance, are any of you going? Like, just being silly. I knew none of you guys were planning on it. Then, of course, Chester, you were being a smartass, and you're like, I don't know, sugar daddy. Like, are you going to pay my way or whatever? And I was like, no, that's not how this works. Like, so, but the reality is you could have possibly come down. But like, that's what I was trying to explain to Chris, but he kind of jumped in a different direction. So he was thinking that you, for a moment, were here or something. And I was like, no. I was like, he's back in Columbus. And you had something to do on Friday, I think. Didn't you have a club function or a photo shoot with
No, I had nothing specifically scheduled for the weekend. No.
Oh,
The whole, I'm not going to go into all of the details with Chris and his rental car, but he needed a ride to the airport and a place to leave his car. And I said, you could just leave your car at my place. I'll give you a ride to the airport. Now, mind you, when he was asking me this, I didn't know he was renting a car. I thought he was like flying somewhere because he said, I'm going away for my birthday. That's all he said. So he gets here, and I'm like, are you ready to... Because he walked in the door, and he starts taking off his clothes, like his shoes and his coat, and he's getting comfortable. And I'm like, what time is your flight? And he's like, oh, I'm not flying. Well, what do you need to go to the airport for? Oh, I'm just renting a car. And I'm like, oh, okay, so you're in no rush. No, it's fine. Oh, okay. So
I'm just going to take all my clothes off at your place like I live here.
I mean, it's Chris. It's okay. So I finally take him over there, and there was some issue with him renting the car because of their rules and regulations. Long story short, it took us about an hour and a half to 2 hours total from the time we started to the time he actually got his car and took off. And it was this huge, big fucking ordeal, and it was just a huge mess.
I think his quote was, it was almost 3 hours. And the conversation must have changed because he didn't explain any of it. And I was just like, ooh. And then there was a part of me was like, well, obviously you got that fixed because you're here. Like,
yeah. I had to help him out quite a bit with that. And I don't want to go into the details online. I will text you what they are.
We can talk about it later.
Okay. So I'm here at MAL, and then for those of you that saw, I posted to select audience on Facebook. I made a comment that I got mauled at MAL, and I liked it. So I up. I'm not looking at you. I have a guest. My host is like, anyways. I met somebody that is it checked all the boxes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Tall, ginger, very nice personality, appropriately aggressive, dominant, highly complimentary.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking great kisser. Yeah. Did not leave marks. Let's put it that way. And they actually said, I made a point to be gentle and not leave marks because I didn't ask if that was okay.
Aw. That was.
And I was like, oh, you understand consent. That's awesome.
Well, good for you.
But yeah.
Sounds like fun.
It was very unexpected. So, but yesterday was a good day. I got to meet a lot of people, like see people that didn't necessarily know I was going to be there, and vice versa. People I hadn't seen in a while. Met friends of AJ. A group of us went out to dinner. Got to see acquaintance/friend John, who I have not seen in a couple of years. His family lives south of Erie, and he used to come to Drenchford years ago, and now he travels all the time for work. He happened to be here in DC. He starts work tomorrow on Monday. So yeah. So it was pretty cool. And then AJ obliged me, after we were done with dinner, we drove around and got to see the monuments here in DC lit up at night. So we just drove by and it was nice. It was good to see the Washington Monument not with scaffolding, because the last time I think I saw it, it was still being
Renovate it.
Scaffold?
Well, fixed and touched up from the earthquake, if you remember that happened.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, no, it was nice. Except for that asshole who was freaking out behind AJ while we were driving. AJ's like comfortably doing the speed limit as you go around the monuments, and this person kept flashing their high beams and real dickweed. It's like, really? That's uncalled for. So,
wow.
But no, overall, it's been pretty good. So we went yesterday to a bakery, and we got some breakfast sandwiches and pastries, and we had the pastries this morning, which you guys, the hosts, saw pre-show. So yeah, that's kind of that. I avoided another snowstorm. Yay! Because literally on Friday, as I was driving south, a whole storm front was sweeping across the Midwest and Ohio and
yeah, we got snow
this
here.
way.
Not a lot, but we got some. And yeah, it was a weird. Friday was weird.
It's not supposed to snow until Tuesday here. So.
Well, the crazy thing is, I was worried that because of the sudden drop in temperature, I was more concerned that we were going to have issues with ice. And I did not want to be on the road when that happened.
True that.
Oh, and then, so get this. While I'm already on the road, because of some other stuff, I didn't get to see my mom on Thursday. Because, by the way, I'm taking an online class Tuesday and Thursday evenings for about a month. I'm learning graphic design, which I'm kind of excited about because it's not a skill or something I've technically really been trained on. So I've been doing that. And because of that, I didn't get to see Mom on Thursday. So I'm on my way down here and she's like, hey, I need to go to the store and get some stuff. If you could take me. And I'm like, yeah. So I was a little irritated at that. And then I was panicking a little bit because I'm like, well, I can't turn around and go back. Because basically it'll probably trap me in Erie a little bit. And then I was like, all right, what can I do? So like I was trying to figure out if any of the local stores do delivery. And the stuff I needed to get, Walmart said they were sold out. And Sam's Club said they could ship it, but it wouldn't arrive until Tuesday. And I'm like, no, that's completely missing the point. So then I used, and this is not to buzz market, but it worked beautifully. So I don't know if you guys have heard of Instacart.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it a couple times.
Is that what I wasn't sure if that's what you use, Jeff? Because there's a couple different programs, I guess, out there that do this.
Yeah, it's like Instacart, Shipped.
Yeah.
Else I think there is.
So Erie is not a big city by any means, so I was surprised that they actually deliver in the area. So I was able to order stuff from a grocery store, and it wasn't much. It was just a couple items, but Mom really needed it in the next 24 hours. And a delivery driver by the name of Amy went and picked up the order and dropped it off. And Mom had texted me. She's like, this lovely woman named Amy delivered the package. And she said, isn't this great that we have a service that's available like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
maybe
like,
you can use it in the future.
Well, that's exactly what it's like, to know, like if your ass is traveling or out of town or something and your parents need something, technically you could probably order, if it's in a store, something.
Yeah. And the nice thing is if whatever store they're doing the shopping at, they don't have the exact item, they'll put it like on the app. They'll actually put, hey, here's a suggested replacement for this because they don't have it or something. So and you approve it on the app and the shopper does it. So
yeah. Plus, first delivery was free. I was a first-time user, and then they informed me that I have another 7-day window of free deliveries since I completed the first transaction, I guess, or whatever. So that was pretty neat. So I only wanted to talk about it just as a brief second that for anybody that has, because this is the new chapter of my life as disabled, parents, and they have limitations with transportation and stuff. I was like, wow, this is really handy. Or like if you're sick. If you are deathly ill at home and cannot leave, this is a possibility. Like you could actually get like juice and soup or whatever, to get you through. Or I don't know, toilet paper. I mean, something that you might kind of really need and can't really get out of the house for. So yeah. So that's kind of what's been going on with me.
Sweet.
Nice.
I was not ravaged by a ginger. How dare you, AJ?
Referring to the chat. So let's go into this.
Now, whoever thought we'd be doing commercials?
I know I sure as heck didn't.
Being that we're a smaller scale podcast, we don't have advertisers knocking down our door to give us money, and that's okay.
Which is why we want to take a moment and tell you about 2 really great ways you can support Cubs Out Loud.
Over the past 9 years, COL has produced hundreds of audio episodes, and now we have matching video episodes for you to enjoy.
This year, we introduced the new COL logo and launched our new merch store over at Zazzle.com/CubsOutLoud.
Or you can also use the COL merchandise link on our podcast website to pull up the online store.
Here you can take a look through a range of products, including t-shirts, hats, poker chips, underwear, backpacks, and various other things with the COL logo on them.
And keep an eye out for new things to be added based on your interests and requests.
We typically can be found showing these great items off in the video stream of our shows.
Also, to help with our new format, we're doing YouTube video shows that help create the audio version. We have a GoFundMe campaign underway at gofundme.com/COLstream.
This campaign allows us to afford upgrading the PC that Jeff uses to produce our shows. Plus, a better computer means better quality streams.
And thanks in advance for not only listening to Cubs Out Loud, but helping support the podcasts too.
Hopefully by next show I'll have a couple other products to show, but I've got 2. I'm wearing my sleeveless white Cubs Out Loud shirt, and I've got my Cubs Out Loud sweatshirt, which I think Gary is also wearing a Cubs Out Loud sweatshirt. As you can see, it comes in many colors.
I am. Ooh, that's it. Just step on my headset. Anyways, so yeah, this is my classic chocolate one that I like to wear all the time because it's big and comfortable.
Yeah,
What?
so you got options, and like if you want to get a little bit more detail, maybe some white inside that mouth of the Cubs Out Loud logo on a dark sweatshirt, we've got the COL Dark version. So we got that. We got mugs, etc. Anybody else got anything? No? Okay.
I'm wearing a kinky shirt because I'm gonna be beating some boys later.
Okay. Well, good for you.
Wow.
Have fun with that. Anyways, moving on into the feedback. Gary, what's been going on over in Facebook land?
Over in Facebook, we got 2 new likes this week. We would like to thank Robert Miller and David Akendel Akenlai. I think I got that right. For liking us on Facebook. Damon, what about YouTube land? You're on mute.
You are muted.
Anyway, now I remember why I muted, because I was blowing my nose. Anyway, we have some new YouTube subscribers. They are Platinum Cub, Sabanave, Giannis Morzuris, or Mount Zurus, I don't know, Dan Bear, and then we believe is Zhao Yang.
Yes.
Welcome.
Over on the Twitter sphere, we have Kiyoshi the Kid. And then on Tumblr, we have Benji the Cub, Your Canadian Cub, BB170, Daddy Bear Draken, I forget his original name.
Chili Cub.
Yes, Chili Cub. I don't know why that just escaped me at that moment. He used to be Chili Cub. He changed it. He figured it's more
appropriate.
And Stay Cub from Minneapolis. Hi, Jacob.
Nice.
We have a Tumblr comment from Daddy Bear Draken. No way. I made Bear of the Day blushes.
Aww.
Aww.
We also want to say we fixed, quote unquote, the Telegram thing. So, because originally we set it up as a channel, which we didn't realize was just more of us just shouting to you, and you wouldn't be able to say anything. So
yeah,
we
didn't realize it was a posting group where you can't where nobody can. We didn't realize you couldn't chat.
Right,
And
so we were
sudden,
basically shouting to the void. Nobody could say anything back.
And Jeff had made some comment. He's like, why is the Telegram chat so silent? Why is nobody talking? And then finally, somebody had mentioned it to us. We're like, yeah, we can't actually chat in that group. And we're like, oh, fuck. So we had to take it down, and we created a new one.
Well, a theory was proposed that it was a one-way communication. So I was like, hey, AJ, can you test this, please? Because maybe we got it wrong.
Well, and here's where my theory was, because when I first joined, before Chester made me an admin along with the rest of us, I couldn't chat or anything. It was just like there, and I'm like, how do you chat in this thing? Is there something we're supposed to do? Is there like different levels or something?
Right.
And so I was all confused for the longest time, and figured it out. So if you go to tinyurl/telegram-col, you can join the new Telegram chat group, which is a full-on chat group. We've been chatting on there already. Warning, it goes from raunchy to geeky in 2.3 seconds.
And back and forth.
Yeah, it's so all of a sudden after a whole talk about playing some D&D or something, all of a sudden there's a naked picture. There's a dick. So it's not for everybody, as we learned over the past week here. But so join us in the chat. You can chat with us, whatever you want. It's not limited to like anything specifically regarding the show. It's just the entourage chatting with each other. So
yeah,
feel free to join us. So I got a question for you guys. What did you think of the opener?
There were some very what the fuck moments.
Welcome to COL.
So that was what I referred to as the previously on Cubs Out Loud episode number 2. So on episode number 3, it starts off previously on Cubs Out Loud, and we have a thing like that. Used to have a thing like that. And guess what? That was 10 years ago. Gary, I believe you have some stats.
We be old. So
while you do that, I'm putting on my sweatshirt, so if I don't hear you or anything.
I'm 39.
So for those that are unaware, Cubs Out Loud posted its pilot episode back on Thursday, January 17th, 2008. I had no goddamn clue that this thing existed, for the record.
Me neither.
I'm not even sure I was listening to podcasts then, but I might have been.
I didn't even know what a podcast was. I didn't even have an iPod.
I'm trying to think if I was aware, because I've listened for so long. Prior to COL, I had been listening to 619 Bearcast. Prior to that, I had been listening to B-Talk. And I had also listened to Bear podcasts. And so in terms of like the Bear community, those were where it originated for me. Since that time, almost exactly 10 years ago, we're 3 days short, we have recorded 658 episodes.
Wow.
So that breaks down to 448 regular episodes, 16 special or alternate shows, and that's kind of defined like they were not part of the sequential piece. 135 COL movies episodes, 15 COL TV shows, plus 44 episodes of COL Drag Race Tea Time, and 6 random acts of cubbiness.
Wow.
What are the 6 random acts of cubbiness?
Okay, hold on.
And before you go into it, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Mauling, fuckery.
We're not going to find a box and a head somewhere, are we?
No, it was me just being like silly and stuff, like this one. Come on, play it. Stop playing. Why is it?
Random act of cubbiness. Random act of cubbiness. Random act of cubbiness. Random act of cubbiness.
Fuera Jacques
frère Jacques, dormez-vous, sonne la mattina, ding ding dong, frère Jacques, dormez-vous, sonne la mattina.
Anyways.
Got it.
I had a whole rant about labels and some other things. So it was just me being like recording some weird shit at the time. The last one was back in 2003, and I haven't recorded anything since. So it's just kind of like some bonus content for the.
It was just little things here and there. I remember some of them, but yeah, it's been. It's weird to think that it's been. Well, I've not been on the show 10 years, obviously, but
I have.
Yeah, well, Jeff is the longest standing individual that's been on the show all this time. Damon, you're next.
Yeah.
Hang on, because I don't know yours off the top of my head, but I can look it up in a moment here. I think you joined at the beginning of TNG, right?
Yep.
So you started March of 2012. So that means in a couple months you will be 6 years old. Or you'll have been on the show for 6 years.
What?
And then this coming week, it will be 5 years for me on January 20th.
And then Chester.
Chester's the baby.
I'm the youngest.
His is August, I think, when he officially joined us. It's been over a year. So he'll be 2 in August of this year.
Nice.
Wow.
Terrible too.
Been that long? Wow.
I know. That's the crazy part to me. That's why I was like, hey, holy shit. Like I said to AJ, I was like, it doesn't feel like 5 years. Like officially, like in the next week, I will have been with this podcast show for half of its existence, which is kind of crazy to me. So
original hosts were John Kim and Tim Ryan. Eventually we had
John Kim.
JJ.
That's his actual name, right?
Pictures.
I think it's just John Kim, but he goes by John.
Leader of North Korea.
And Griff joined us midway through that. After I think it was after we interviewed him on the episode Chasers. He is currently married.
So would that make him an otter for Otter?
No, he's a bear that chases chasers.
Okay.
So, and he's married, so he's no longer chasing anything. So. And then we had a break for a little bit, and then on Bruiser /
a few years
is when I put a shout out of who would like to join me, and Damon was the first, I think, to say hello. Yep. And we got Ben, and we did a test episode, and then Robert joined us. Robert, who's getting married.
Yes. He's also moving to Chicago.
Oh, he has his count on his page. I'm so excited for him. And we had brief co-hosts with Eric Pink, who is also married.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And his husband's name is Chet.
Chester.
Yes.
It's the only other Chet I know in real life.
So in 10 years, we've had, 10 hosts? That was just a guess. I don't know the actual number.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Did you count yourself?
Yes. Me, JJ, Tim, Griff, Damon, Ben, Eric, Robert,
Gary.
And Gary.
Robert.
Oh, and Chester.
And Chester.
So 10.
I forgot Chester.
So
Stop forgetting Chester.
So really 10 hosts in 10 years?
Wow. 10 hosts in 10 years.
That was not planned.
No. Not at all.
Yeah.
Just kind of happened that way.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. So for those that we kind of made a reference, just as a clarity, if you go back and you go to listen to the episodes or go back through like the timeline, there was a break in 2011. There was a couple of episodes that were broken up. Like you guys did January, and then you had like one or two in February, and then like one in March, one in April, one in May. Like it kind of became a once a month thing, and then there was like a hiatus for I think it was like 8 months or something.
Yeah, it was me trying to, because it was like Tim and Griff just kind of like didn't want to do it, and Tim wasn't very enthusiastic anymore. So I tried to like keep it going, but like at a slower pace, and then eventually I just stopped doing things because I didn't have any ideas. I had Cookie, who was on the Cubby House podcast from Australia. He joined me for an episode or two, so I had somebody to bounce off of.
So when we talk about TNG for Cubs Out Loud, not Star Trek, although that's where we're stealing it from.
Thank God for clarifying, because I was lost.
Yeah, so TNG for Cubs Out Loud is basically like COL version 2.0. So the next generation was March of 2012, and that's when there's like, this is where I was talking about special episodes. There's 6 episodes before the sequential numbering like kicked up again.
Yeah.
So instead of like starting over at 0 after those first 6 episodes to get the TNG crew together, then it picks up at 155. So that's one of the things about like the numbering. Some people are like, wow, have you really done that many episodes? Yes. Like in the history of the entire podcast, we really have done 449 episodes. Or as I was stating, technically, if you add everything we've ever done together, it's over 650 or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's a lot.
Yeah, we also
been
had
a lot.
We also had that COL movies machine, which was completely separate feed. It's the shows are still at colmovies.com too. And that was Ray, Steve, and I. And that went from April of 2010 to June of 2013. Final episode really wasn't an episode for all intents and purposes, but it was something to post to the feed to say, hey, we're stopping. It was just me just giving a message to everybody. And me giving a call out, seeing if anybody else was interested in kind of like picking up the show. And, I would still produce it, but at this time, I can't see a movie every week. I can always watch like past movies. But the one thing I really liked about that series was the original concept of looking at stuff in the past, looking at current day stuff, and looking at trailers for the future. It was. I kind of liked having that kind of segment. It made it like a different type of movie podcast.
So yeah, we've covered a lot of topics, broad range of stuff. It was interesting because someone I saw this weekend made a reference to, they don't listen to every episode, but they make a point of listening to some series, specifically the LTAS and the LTAK, which is Let's Talk About Sex and Let's Talk About Kink, which gave me a little bit of a warm fuzzy. Like at first I had to think about it and I was like, oh, that's kind of specific. But then I was like, oh, I get it. Like if listening to us week in and week out, or not being able to keep up with, that many episodes, like for a podcast, us doing 1 a week isn't to me that much, because I listen to other podcasts that put out 2, 3 a week. And that's hard. I find that very challenging to keep up with every God blessed episode.
I have 2 daily shows. Morning Stream and Daily Tech News Show.
Wow.
Yeah. It's not 7 days a week. It's only 5, but
Still.
Yeah. So for us, it's a challenge, to, I think sometimes we feel like 1 a week, holy cow, because that's like over 50 shows a year, guaranteed. And that's where some people I can understand are like, I don't really know about that. And just like, we do the drag race thing, which will be kicking up again at the end of this month, most likely, because All Star Season 3 is coming. So that's another thing. Like we kind of created a little side venture. But yeah, and who knows what else we're going to end up doing as far as like topics and that type of stuff. So, but we be 10, y'all.
It's been kind of. So it's funny, like not too long ago, we were just talking about like how did the year what was last year and what was your favorite and when those things, and I had to go, and for me, my biggest thing is there's so much that we've done that it becomes kind of almost second nature to blur everything together. You know, like this is like we've done really great shows, and I had to when you asked me about something specific, I had to actually look because there's some things that we've done that have stuck with me, but we didn't do it like last year. We did it maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and it's weird to realize I've been on the show almost 6 years. Yeah, almost 6 years. It's weird to think of it that way.
I'm flabbergasted that I'm going on 5 years in a week. Like I'm like, really? 5 years ago, we did the interview episode with me talking about drenched fur, and then I never left. Okay. Go ahead, Chester.
I was just gonna say, Damon, I can relate to when somebody says something to you about a show, and you're like, "Wait, what did I say?"
Yeah.
Alti Bear. Zach, he said something to me like that the other day. We were chatting and he's like, "Oh, hey, you just said blah, blah, blah on the podcast. Maybe we could talk about that sometime." And I'm like, "What did I say? When? Why? What context?" Like, I'm not denying I said what I said, but I have no recollection of this.
It's because we do so much, it's hard to remember it all.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and I mean, I didn't run this statistic because it would take a lot of work to figure it out. But we've recorded thousands of hours of content, probably guaranteed. Because if we've done 650 some shows or whatever, and the longer we've been existing these past year or two, the longer the shows have been. And part of that's just relational. Like Damon and I figured that out. When we started COL Drag Race, it was just him and I. And then we might have a guest on, and then we brought Chester in. And like, so last year we had there was 4 of us, just like now there are 4 of us. Well, if everybody kind of gets equal talking time, it just makes the show longer, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I know for some people they're kind of like, oh my God, that's a long ass show. But to be fair, I'm quite well aware of it. We have basically 3 segments to the show in the current format. We have our big intro section, which is a lot of, here's what's happening, here's what's been happening, recognition of feedback stuff, and then we usually kind of get around into the topic, which is the second chapter, I call it, and then the third chapter is all the wrap-up type stuff.
So basically we spend about an hour and a half to an hour and a half talking about ourselves, and then we talk about a topic. And then we talk about, just things we like.
Yeah. But I think it's been good in a sense. One of the things I think I like and enjoyed about the show is I have 3 really good close friends in a sense.
Aww.
Sounds really weird, but yeah, I've got 3 really cool friends that I can hang out with every week, and we talk about shit, and then we go our separate ways. But we at least have this moment where we're talking to each other and we're kind of hanging out. Blah blah. Even though I'm in Cincinnati and Chester's in Columbus, and you're in Maryland now, but you're usually in Pennsylvania and Jefferson, Texas. So it's this weird, it's this weird sort of.
All of you guys can get together pretty easily, versus me who is broke.
Yeah.
The technology. Yeah, the technology has really helped in 10 years, though. I mean, because, we're still. I mean, Jeff, did you use Skype in the very beginning?
Yep, we've been using.
Yeah,
Skype
so we're still using. Yeah, we're using Skype, still to this day on one aspect of it. But I think about B Talk, which is one of the first Bear community podcasts. They were all in Minneapolis, and they were all getting together in a house, in their basement or whatever, and trying to shoot a wide angle camera. That's not shady, but there was 5 hosts or 6. tried to sit like, at a table or a couch or whatever, and talking and stuff like that.
The three of us have problems when we get together.
Yeah. So no, it's been interesting, and we've done various things over the years. We've had 3 logos for the podcast. A year ago, we introduced at episode 400 the new current Cubs Out Loud logo, and then we've discussed some other things. I think we have something new coming up on the horizon very soon that I'm not going to spoiler alert yet. But
spoiler alert.
We'll talk about that in the next episode or two, I think. So yeah, I don't know. I'm humbled that we got to this point and we've done everything that we have so far. I'm probably the thing I'm proudest most of is that we have been consistent to not only continually put out a podcast, because I read up on things when it comes to producing podcasts. Like, I've changed my equipment a little bit over the years, like the camera, the microphone, and that kind of stuff, because I take it seriously in that I call it an internet talk show. And trying to put information out there. So yeah, like we yap about our lives and that kind of stuff, which is sort of helpful maybe sometimes to people as, just learning what someone else is experiencing. But more importantly, most of the topics I think we pick to talk about are about an issue or an item or something that people can glean from. So like probably in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have Cisco back on. There's another recent study that came out. And since he's our certified scientific study, like statistician, person who's pursuing, a PhD, and doing like humanity studies and that kind of stuff. I think that's awesome. We're probably going to have a doctor on this year. I think I can talk about that. To
actual physician.
Yes, to talk about some medical stuff. Specifically, we know that we've wanted to talk about PrEP. So, and that's where, that's how we kind of got into LTAS and specifically LTAK. We wanted to reach out into the community, and not just the bear community. For those of you that are not aware, because you're kind of newer to COL, hey, we try to put our paws in a bunch of different cookie jars, so to speak. Between the 4 of us, we've got like nerd, geek, sci-fi, bear, cub, puppy, leather, kink, drag. So I think for some people they might be like, is there anything you don't like touch or talk about?
Well, we are diverse in that aspect of our lives, and we all have. We would have one very fucked up Venn diagram.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I think that's well, maybe it would look more like a Mandela. But anyways, yeah, I think that when I joined the show, I wasn't that familiar with COL. Like I'd heard of it, but I wasn't a steadfast audience member that listened all the time. Chester, you're actually probably the one that represents that the most. You listened to the show for quite a while and interacted with us frequently before we asked you to join in.
Yeah, when I started listening, you were already a host. Because I started listening when it was you 3 plus Eric and Robert.
Okay.
However long ago that was exactly. But yeah, it's been a while.
4 years
After
ago.
Ben left.
Yeah. So, and that's one of the things I think that we've weathered through all the years is we've had a whole bunch of different stuff that's happened to each of us. Because I was already moved at that point. Damon, you've moved.
Yeah.
Jeff has moved. Chester, you've moved.
A lot.
Yeah, some of us just across town, across the street, across half the country.
Across the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true, because you were international for a while.
I started when I was living in London.
Yeah. So we've kind of crossed a lot of different time zones, so to speak.
Yeah.
Over time. And so we're looking forward to some things this year. I will say this because someone kind of made a comment yesterday. It's not been confirmed, but I have high hopes that we'll be repeating an episode style that we did last year, where a certain gentleman reads stories to people. Because as someone said to me yesterday at MAL, they're like, I can't tell you what that does to me. But to me, I guess that's one of their favorite episodes that we do.
Nice.
I enjoy editing those episodes.
It takes them a little bit longer.
Yeah, well, I made a joke. I was like, let me guess, you like listening to those episodes alone in bed. You know, maybe with the lights turned down.
Well, you know, if you probably could listen to that with a significant other or a group if you are into that.
Background noise at a gaming party?
Oh my! No!
Oh my God!
I don't think it's a gaming party. I believe it begins with an O in many ways.
Oh, so it just occurred to me that would be a really different version of a book club. To bring a bunch of gay men together to listen to that type of episode. And at a certain point, I think they're going to stop listening, just for the record.
Well, this book club sure is off to a slow start.
Nice.
Speaking of which, we've interviewed authors. Was it last year or the year before? We did like three or four book author interviews like pretty soon at the beginning of the year. So that's to be said. If anybody out there in the audience knows of an artist, an entertainer, basically a content creator, and it's part of the community, let us know. You know, get them in touch with us.
Yeah, we've
to have on.
We've interviewed quite a number of artists.
Yeah, we've had Josh Pangborn from Skeleton Crew. That's a YouTube series. We had Square Bear himself.
Ryan.
Yeah, does art things. We've had folks that do the whatchamacallit, I just blanked on it. Book writing.
Smashy's been on here, so he draws art. You know, about the only thing that I can think of we have not covered as far as artists go are photographers.
Yeah, I was just thinking about like Devin.
You could interview me, but what would be the point?
Well, there's Devin.
That is a joke, but I'm being serious. And musicians.
We've had a few musicians. We've had Rock Hub.
And Freddie...
Was he on here to talk about his music, though?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. In that case, then I don't know.
Oh my God! I totally forgot about the Bearpalooza podcast.
Yeah.
I did a short time with Swin Dunbar. We did Bearpalooza podcast.
In fact, when we had Josh Pangborn on talking about Skeleton Crew, I kind of thought about like if we did another interview, possibly we might see if Josh could get Yolanda to come on, because Yolanda has been friends for a long time with Jay and Freddie Freeman, and Freddie Freeman is who started Bearpalooza. And I've seen Yolanda perform. Yolanda actually sings, is a singer-songwriter. So yeah, it's very back to that Venn diagram. It's like it's this very like if you mind mapped it, there'd be a lot of connecting crossover kind of stuff that way. We have some gets. I will own this. I'll put this out there into the universe because we're 10 years old now. Over the past 2 to 3 years, 2 years, we've had some celebrities or celebrities. That we
Damon's like, geez, guys, it's just right out there, Bear Liberty.
Yeah. Anyways, we have contacted a couple of people. We had one that we were going to line up and have interest to have them on for an interview, and then things kind of shifted. We're less than 6 degrees connected to a few people, but I've been as the one who kind of works on some of the topics and stuff like that. I've been trying to play it cool because I don't really want to geek out too much or fan right and be too weird about contacting certain individuals.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh god!
Right, because I really don't want to turn it into just the four of us going, no, and not really talking much and being like, oh my god, he's on the show and he's so hot. You know,
this episode we're going to have to put the stream to Chatterbait instead of YouTube.
Yeah, and I'm thinking because they're celebrities, they probably won't be allowed. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, nice. I just read Taker Tub said a book club with a changing room. I'm up for that. So yeah, we'll see what what's to come. I'm no pun intended. Wow. We're looking forward to some stuff in the immediate future. Damon, Chester, and I are going to be at North American Bear in Kentucky next month in February. I know that Cubs is expected to be there. AJ's going to be there. I'm trying to think of people that have been on the show. Miss Tammy's going to be there. Fox Bear's going to be there. I believe possibly Gabe and Matt.
Gabe will be there because he is leading the Boot Blacks.
Oh, that's right.
Is Ray going to be there?
Yes.
Yes.
I would be shocked if he wasn't.
Yes, Ray's going to be there.
He's been having some really good days at Mao.
He has been.
Yeah.
Yes, he has.
Yeah, and I talked about that a little yesterday.
Good for you.
Yeah, Brady is going to be there. I'm trying to think who else. Like, there's a number of people that.
Courtney and Jade will be there, and we've had them on the show.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
James, I think James will be there too. Glitter Bear.
Yeah.
Yep, Glitter Bear will be there.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to NAB. It's interesting because some people are kind of like, oh, like if you need a guest to be on the show or whatever. There's a part of me that's like, if everybody stepped up, we don't have that much time. Because some of us have already got a dance card that they're filling up, and by that I mean they have stuff that they're doing, and it's not this kind of like downtown stuff that they're doing. It's
funny.
They're planning on hanging out with friends. They're going to be doing photography supposedly.
I do have a client set. I have a photo shoot scheduled with Gabe. Actually, Dane and I are doing one together. It's going to be our very first photo shoot with a client together.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay. So what you mean is 2 photographers with 1 client, because you guys haven't done that setup yet.
Right. We have gone to events and shot together, but we've Drenched Fur, for instance, both of us are there, both of us are shooting, both of us are giving you our photos, but this will be the first time that that we are working as a single entity to do a photo shoot for somebody.
Right. No, that makes sense.
Just like Scary's camera. There it is.
Yeah, thanks to the Skype update. Every time I go to read the chat, it shuts off my camera. Fuck, it's Skype. It's really sorry. I'm just really in a super crabby mood about Skype because it screwed up last week and it's screwing up again this week. But that being said, no. So that's coming up, and then Drenched Furs in April, Claws at the end of April. So we've got some stuff happening.
Yeah.
In the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we'll be able to bring you, as I was kind of being sly, reference, we'll bring you a special Valentine's Day show coming up.
Next month.
Yeah. That's kind of it. I mean, I think that as far as like the topic wise.
Celebear. You can look but not touch.
Yeah, Doe Guy. Yeah, Doe Guy. Put that in the chat. That was something I was just explaining to someone. They said something about why. Oh, because I must have made a reference to the older years, like the audio only, and I think they were confused, and I had to explain to them yeah, for 9+ years, it was pretty much just an audio only feed podcast. And during that time, there might be a video. All the Drag Race Tea Time episodes were done in video to begin with, and then last year we switched to this format. So we're doing YouTube Live. Hey. And then we're able to take the audio out, so that way for those that just want to listen. Which apparently, I'm not saying all of our listeners do, but we have a chunk of them. They listen to us while they work or they commute. So,
yes,
I mean that's what I mostly did with work.
Just sometimes make sure you're reading the show titles, because when those special episodes come up, you might not want to listen to that at work. Just saying.
Or if you do listen at work, you might want to make sure that. Okay, rule number 1: if you're going to listen to our show at work, have headphones or earbuds.
Thank you.
And then if you're going to listen to the special episodes where like Daddy Hadrian gives you bedtime stories, you might want to, I don't know, go to the bathroom or something.
Wow.
Because I'm thinking like being at your desk at work is probably not going to work. Just saying.
If you work from home, then you have no problem.
Definitely.
Presume.
Okay.
So that being said,
happy 10th birthday, Cubs Out Loud.
Yay! Shall we talk about Dick?
I thought we already were.
No. Okay, I'll admit there's actually not much Dick that you can see in this, but I don't know where this came from, or if there's like a non-Tumblr like YouTube version of this video, or a version of this video somewhere else. But Jeremy Morse apparently was in this music video, for lack of a better word, with Benjamin Cole. And it's like a realtor showing someone a mansion that he's looking to purchase, and they're showing the house, and then eventually, after cutting the deal, they end up having some extra benefits, but we do get to see J-Mo doing a striptease.
Well, J-Mo does like to move.
Yep. And he's got his shiny underwear on when he gets down to that. It's kind of cool. I don't know where this came from, just out of the blue. But
I know he's been collaborating with an artist or a couple of music artists, and I can't remember who off the top of my head. I can't remember the name of the person. Like, I'm remembering it, but I remember him specifically. And this was one of the movie videos that he did with the guy. So, but I can't tell you what it is off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up or look for it more. I'd rather look at the video right now.
Yeah. So you don't actually see any penis.
No.
But so it is, PG-13 esque, maybe R, but anyways.
This video came out last year in 2017. I guess I never talked about it because I presumed everybody saw it when it got released. It is. It's a hot music video. It's very fantastical because how likely is it that two hot daddy bears, like one of them being a real estate agent and the other one being the purchaser, are gonna, be at this fucking mansion plaza, gorgeous house, and then, sign the deal and then seal the deal with some fucking. So, it's very porn, so to speak, without a full lot of porn. It's good.
It's a good one. Yep.
So,
Damon, your selection?
So I called this one in the bathroom. I believe he's in the bathroom. There's a shower curtain behind him. And it's a cute cub. Naked. Tatted up. Glasses, everything. It's a good couple of pictures. But you get a nice view.
nice penis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
Gary, your mouth is you're drooling.
yeah, that happens now and then.
I was just
Wait.
going to say that this is a good example of how camera angles work when you are taking selfies. Because this guy looks like he's just a regular sized person in the first picture, and then the other one makes him look like he has a really short torso and his legs are fucking a mile long.
Still got a nice penis.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
He has a
balls.
very nice he has a overall a very nice build.
Yeah. That.
Yeah, he's got the classic kind of stocky cubby look, glasses, messy hair,
Thick.
Tattoos, thick thighs, save lives. Yeah, I mean, he's just, he's a really good looking guy. The only thing is, I feel this is probably, if this is the massive reblog one, I don't think it's from the original poster, which is shitty.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure I saw these a long time ago when they originally posted, or have seen his Tumblr or something. And he's a hottie, so it's remember, kids, it's not cool to repost.
Yeah.
Reblog, not repost. So yeah. Chester.
So mine I have titled "Me Toweling Off." To be clear, it's not me. It's somebody else who has titled it "Me."
Mm-hmm.
Aww.
His blog is called Boo Collingswood. I don't know if that's his last name or whatever, but man, he is handsome.
Yeah, he's a stocky daddy bear with a little bit of a belly, and he's hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've
He
seen
has
this.
Agreed.
lots of photos of himself, and I'm sure our friend Gabriel would like them because there's an awful lot in the shower.
What are you trying to say?
That Gabe likes shower pics.
Yes.
Gabe likes water, so
Yes.
that's basically what it comes down to. Yeah, so if you're a person that likes a Tumblr blog full of daddies, this is one you'll probably want to check out and follow.
Definitely.
Yeah. So. Yep. Mine is an original creation. I went to our podcast website and I took photos that were all of our COL pedestal men.
Not all of them.
All right, now listen. I knew you were going to say that, but there's a reason, Chester, you are not included in there because you're a fucking host now. So you leveled up and you moved from pedestal to co-host. So I think that's only fair.
Leveled up. You gained the XP.
So
and
yeah,
by the way, if you go to the COL pedestal page on cubsoutloud.com, you will see that Chester is still on there. So
Chester was technically our second COL pedestal.
Really?
Guy. Yeah.
Oh.
Venice Cub was first.
Not know that.
Yeah, I rearranged the pictures. So like this is almost close to what it's like on our podcast page right now. But Venice Cub was first, then it was Chester, then Mark on Fire 40. And then I don't remember this, but we made Fox Bear and Fuzzbutt a combo pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm blanking on who the next gentleman is.
That's Russell. He was one of our super fans at one point in time. I haven't heard from him in a long time, but
yeah. And then the infamous Tim Hooper, Jeffrey's personal heartthrob. And then yeah, but you don't talk about him all the time like Jeffrey does. And then Alex Fiery Biscuits, then JMO, shocker, and Charles,
Superfan,
and Superfan Charles, and then Daddy Hadrian, and last but not least, Canadian Cub,
Maple
Leaf Cub.
Maple Leaf Cub.
Canadian Cub, but yeah,
Canadian sexy fucker, whatever. I don't-
yeah.
Let's just call a spade a spade.
So, yeah, no. So these are the guys that it's interesting that in a way, if you do not count Chester because he came a co-host, we basically in 10 years have had 10 pedestal selections.
We've had a lot of like that kind of happening.
Yeah.
Pretend is very important to us for some reason.
If we missed some, it was because we didn't start keeping track until later in the cycle.
True.
So, and basically, I ended up creating this image because what I intentionally was trying to do is I was scouring my Tumblr, and I don't have any 10 penis bukkake like pics. So,
Oh, you could just go onto my porn Tumblr.
so I was like, how do we do this? And then I was like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll just make a new image celebrating our 10 year, like all our pedestal guys. So yeah. And it's interesting because amongst the pedestal men that are here, since we started the podcast, 1, 2, 3, at least 3 of them I know of have gotten married.
Oh,
look at us, Cubs Out Loud, getting people together. Not really.
Yeah, I don't think we can take any credit for that.
No.
But yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. By the way, yeah, we should probably, just because it's there and you mentioned it, congratulations to Mark, because I believe he got married this week.
He did.
Yeah.
On Fire 40, Mark, who is originally from Montreal, he has been spending the past couple of months in California with his now husband, Rob.
Yeah.
Did he move there?
Well, it's not a permanent move because he's not a U.S. citizen. So he's, I don't know if it's green card or visa, but he's here for a specific time frame. And now that he's married, I'm not sure how that affects things. I think there's still a whole thing he has to go through before he becomes a permanent resident.
Yeah, there's still some bits and pieces. You still have to, even though you marry someone from the United States, you do not automatically get, that's been, I guess, no longer the case for many years. But you do not automatically get citizenship. There's still a process that you have to go through.
I think probably because some people were abusing that thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, but...
and who knows if they're coming from shithole countries or not.
Snap.
Zing. Anyways,
moving into our links. Another thing that started this week is the inaugural season of the Overwatch League. So, new esports competition that's going to be happening through the year. There are some hotties who play Overwatch and they're all in LA right now, but eventually in later seasons they're going to be like traveling all over the world. They've got a team from Seoul, a team from Shanghai, 2 from LA, Dallas, Houston, New York, Florida, Boston, and Chicago. I can pull up the teams and take a look. Boston, Dallas, Florida, Houston, New York, 2 LAs, London, Philly, San Francisco, Seoul, and Shanghai are the current teams, or current places where teams are. And so they're kind of trying to do it kind of along the lines of like traditional sports, like football, baseball. They've got 2 divisions, the Atlantic and Pacific. Instead of being from one country, it's considered international. They're considered to have a city or, in some cases, state base. Like Dallas Fuel, the Florida Mayhem. They've got titles, they got logos. You can buy jerseys and T-shirts for each of the teams. Which support the teams too. They have requirements for getting an actual annual salary, so they will be paid each year. I believe Shaq, who is part of Energy Esports, I think, Shaquille O'Neal actually owns one of the teams. I think the San Francisco Shock, if I'm correct. I could be wrong on that. There's a lot of things. I'm cheering for the Dallas Fuel myself. There's 2 Texas teams, but I really like the Dallas logo and colors. That's kind of where I am. But
that's the gayest fucking thing ever. I'm rooting for these because they have great uniforms.
Yes. So that's the team I'm picking. But it's really cool. They're on Twitch at Overwatch League. They play 4 days each week. They probably have more content each week than there is maybe football. Plus, like football, one game lasts for like several hours. One match between these teams lasts for about an hour and a half. So I don't know about you, for those people who, and plus there's less downtime. It's more exciting. More stuff going on, more energy. You don't have this like 10 minutes of between like hikes, whatever they're called. Downs.
Sports and stuff and things and shit.
But their sports so boring. Anyways, yeah. Don't get me wrong, I like going to a baseball game. I don't like watching it on TV. There's just something else about being at a baseball game, but this is more exciting. So check it out, overwatchleague.com and twitch.tv/Overwatch League for watching the game. So you can follow them there, get notifications when they go live. There's an app for the Overwatch League, so you can check in the standings and follow your favorite teams. And even their Twitter accounts get pretty active, and it's fun. So
yeah,
check it out. Tester.
So mine is I don't even know what to call it. A drawing?
Infographic.
Infograph. There we go.
Yeah.
Infographic about a lesson in non-binary individuals. And what it is it's a person who is calling themselves or saying to themselves that they are purple. And it's the internal struggle of being somebody who is non-binary and constantly having people say, no, you are red, no, you are blue. It's not that difficult to figure out why won't you be blue or red when this person is like, no, I am purple.
Right.
It's an interesting infographic because it's laid out very simple in the way that people deal with their frustrations with being an individual like this, and it can be applied in so many different ways. It does not even the interesting thing is it's not centered around sexual identity or gender. It just says non-binary. So you can take it however you want.
Yeah,
and that's the great thing about it.
I agree with you, Chester. I had seen it and I had reblogged it. I thought it was great that it's simplistic in its presentation. And yeah, you're right. It's talking about something that can relate in different areas. It's not about gender, but I think that's kind of where it's coming from. But it can be used in different ways. Like, I think it's relative to any community. Like, it could be about race. It could be about like even kink or the bear community. You know how we talk about these struggles where it's like, you're a cub, you're a bear, you're a daddy, you're a whatever. And you're like, do we really have to go to that? Like, why can't the person choose for themselves and recognize, why can't we be comfortable with recognizing however they see themselves?
Yeah.
So no, it's really great. I highly suggest that people see it. When I see stuff like this, I really hope that it can be integrated into education, that teachers will see it and utilize it as a learning tool to help explain things that come up. The education system a lot more is like, they're doing stuff like TED Talks and using YouTube videos and that kind of stuff. So when I see this, I get hopeful that maybe someone will use this as part of a explanation about spectrum of identity, however you choose to see that. Yep. You have a second one, Chester?
Oh, yes, I do. I provided the link to the Cheesecake Factory rant from the individual who went there and pointed out every flaw the Cheesecake Factory has. It's humorous when you read it, because if you've ever been to Cheesecake Factory, you will have no doubt recognize and relate to what the person is talking about, but you've probably just never paid that close of attention to it, and now you will.
Nice. Mine is not a real super recent video, but it's probably in the past handful of months. Dr. George from Australia, he's been putting out informational videos as topics occur to him or come up. This one I thought was very interesting. It's about traveling with PrEP for HIV, pre-exposure prophylaxis, known by Truvada in the U.S. as its label name for the medication. So basically what he's talking about is if you know you're going to be traveling and you need to have that medication with you, there's a couple of things to know ahead of time. And it's not very long, but it's helpful. And so I wanted to put that out there as just an idea, because I think it can relate to other medications as well. Basically, you're going to end up traveling, and especially if you go by flight, you have to go through customs, TSA, whatever it is. People are going to have to look through your things, and you should be prepared to explain. You may have to have a medical statement, like from your doctor, explaining the need for certain medications and stuff like that. Because what happens basically is you have to educate other people sometimes, because they don't know what this stuff is or what it's there for. And you never know what they're going to pause like you for the process. Like when you're traveling, like I had to laugh because the other day Adam Savage tweeted, "Hey, did you know that you could take a 10-pound metal like knight's head shield helmet in a carry-on and they won't ask you to look at it? Like it'll just go through the x-ray machine with no questions asked." Like,
wow.
Right, it cracked me up to no end. He was basically like, of all the things I thought I'd get flagged for, that apparently, right, that seems okay. There's a part of me that's like, yeah, but you're Adam Savage. So if anybody with this crew, like, for the screening knows who you are, they're probably not going to question you about this metal helmet. Like, yeah. But I bring it up because I think you just don't know what you're going to get questioned about. Sure. I mean, like, Chester, you've traveled with photography stuff. I mean, this weekend being MAL, I hear stories about when you go to IML or MAL or hell, even TBRU or, some of the big events when you have to travel, like you have to kind of be prepared for some of the stuff that you're taking with you and that you may have to have your bags checked.
My camera bag always gets pulled. It is because of the amount of electronics and the shape of the lenses, the batteries, the chargers. Yeah, my camera bag always gets pulled, and I'm used to it. Yeah, because as soon as I go through the line, I stand there and wait, and the person always grabs it, and they're like, "Is this your bag?" And I said, "Yes, it's photography gear. Please be careful with it."
Yeah,
like you're gonna look at it. Just be careful.
Right. Well, I mean, when I travel, the thing is you're supposed to put your electronics, especially like laptops and stuff. When I've flown recently, yeah, like my MacBook Pro, my iPad, my phone, like I had a second tablet. Like it's all laid out like single layer, like so they can clearly see it when it goes through the X-ray thing. Because to me, it's I realize for some people they think it's a pain in the ass, and I'm like, it's just the process that we do, and I try to make it simple so I don't have to be more delayed, because then they gotta
exactly. That's the way I go. Whenever I go through it, I will even come up to the TSA agent and I say, because I've got global entry, I will say things like, "Do I need to take my laptop out? Do I need to take my CPAP out?" liquids? Do I have to do my shoes? Most of the time they'll just say no to these things. And it irritates me when I get behind people who bitch because, well, why does he have to wear his shoes? Why are they going through with their sweatshirt on or whatever? And it's like, just fucking do what you're told. Get through the line and get the hell out of my way.
Yeah.
I had when I was flying back from Portland, I had the guys behind me, like, even though, everyone is doing the shoes off and the sweatshirts and all of this stuff, he was bitching the entire time. And it was like, you're not helping anything by saying, like, bitching about it. Just fucking do it and get over it. Like, everyone is doing this. You are not special.
Right. And I think what makes people upset is the inconsistency. So, like, when I flew to Montreal, when I left from my hometown airport, I had a T-shirt on and then a fleece, like, zipper, kind of jacket over it. It wasn't my winter jacket, so I was technically dressed in layers. I didn't have to take the fleece jacket off. But when I got to Philly and was doing my connection flight, it's a long story because I don't remember if I talked about it on the podcast. I had to go back through TSA.
Yeah.
When I went back through TSA, I had to take the fleece off. And it annoyed me for a quick second because I was like, really, motherfuckers? Like, I didn't have to check it before. Like, you didn't have to look and wand it or whatever. But what annoys me about it was in the moment, because I'm like, there's nothing in it. It is literally just a fleece jacket. Like, but I get it. Like, and I think that's what annoys people is, like, if you knew every single time, everywhere you went, you would get the exact same screening, which is supposed to be that way. But we know it's not because, they're human beings involved in the process. So, yeah. But anyways, back to my video real quick. So Dr. George talks about, like, just being prepared specifically with PrEP medication, but I think it's got a good universal message. Like, if you're going to travel and you're going to take meds and that some of the meds may have a question mark around them, like they're not widely known. Like metformin is pretty well known as a diabetic medication. So, or insulin. So that's not really a surprise. But if people aren't familiar with Truvada or something else, they might raise an eyebrow and kind of question what that substance is. So I thought it was a pretty good idea to keep in mind. That's it.
Hey, guess what, folks? That's the end. All. Plenty of ways to contact us. You can pop over to our website, cubsoutloud.com, where you can see our pedestal, or go into our About page where you can find all the ways to contact us, which include emailing us at cubsoutloud@gmail.com, issues of voicemail 60 or otherwise at 361-COL-TALK. Join us on Instagram at cubsoutloud, Telegram, tinyurl.com/telegram-COL, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, all at Cubs Out Loud, the appropriate places you are all. Join us on bearunderground.net, the new version of the website. It looks really cool, and we're expecting to get more features added, so it's kind of sparse right now, but go on there, enjoy it, chat with people.
Check it out.
It's actually really kind of cool looking right now. And it's the official Bear website of Cubs Out Loud. Rate us on iTunes, subscribe to us to Google Play Podcast, give us a thumbs up on Stitcher Radio. You can find me anywhere on the internet as Boxstep, Box Cup, Puppy, Box Cub, Box, something or other.
I am Theater Cup 79 on various places, including Growler and Bear Underground. Or you can find me as Pup_Umbra on Twitter.
On the Twitters.
On the Twitters.
You can find me on Tumblr or Twitter under the name The Pup Up There, or various bear dating sites across the net under the name Pup Shutter or Cupcake76.
And if you would like to get in touch with me, you can find me as GareBear73 pretty much anywhere online. In real life, you never know where I'm going to pop up at. And if you happen to be a tall, swarthy, thick ginger with facial hair, you probably have a good opportunity to maul me. Just saying. For the record.
Maul you at MAL.
Yeah.
Maul that Mal.
Yeah.
And with that, say good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good night, all.
Have a good one, y'all.
Now it's time for me to go use one of those urinals.
Yep, same here. Be right back.
It is time for me to do the same, and I gotta go.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, back.
Yay.
And because of how I started the show, I'm not going to read a teaser this time.
So you don't need a...
No, we need a synopsis anyways, because that's the text version that goes up on all the posts.
Got it.
But I'm just not going to read it.
You're not going to read it. Got it. Makes sense.
Because it would just be... The editing
Long.
becomes weird.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whatever. This is going to be an easy show to edit because there's going to be no editing. Well, pre-post show stuff. And did I hear vaguely from the things that Chester was bailing because he had to go to the gaming group thing?
Yeah. Basically.
Okay. And I figured out part of the reason why today was important more than any other one is because now with his new job, he's not going to be able to go to the gaming group for a while.
Aww. Yeah, so
because of his schedule. So from pre-show, because I stepped away for a moment and there seemed to be confusion. Did we get that figured out about if we're still going to record on Sundays?
No, not officially. But
Okay.
I think... hold on.
Yeah, I don't think we set it in stone.
Yeah, I think...
Because we could... It sounds like because he only works till, what, 7 your time?
Yeah.
I think so.
So we could just do, like... when I say goodnight, everybody, it will actually be night.
Yeah.
And the show would just like take a day to get up because
We're not going to do it at 9 or 10 in the morning or 10 at night. Yeah.
Right.
So I'll just do it the next day. So, which is no big deal. That's not. I mean, I took like 3 or 4 days to put a show up one time.
Yeah.
The funny thing
But
was,
like,
on that one was I had done everything. I had uploaded it to archive.org, and all I needed to do was hit post. That's all I needed to do.
It's all right. It happens. But what I'm thinking is I am fine with doing Sunday night shows if that's going to be possible. Now, obviously, the other crux in this is Drag Race. Because...
Right. So, Damon, my presumption is that we will probably record Drag Race shows at night as well, but during the week.
Hey, you know what? I think I'm just going to stop streaming now.